Hello everyone and welcome to the Manifestation Keys course. In this course, I'm going to give you 3 keys that I've found working for me and others in building the life you want to live, in building your dreams, in building your heart's deepest desires. And I'm just going to leave this guy up here as a reminder of that's what we're trying to get to, and this is what manifesting your dreams really looks like. Obviously, there's a lot of hard work and things involved, but it's from this state that we can do it. So that leads me to key number 1 in this first video of this course, which is living through feeling, or living by feeling. So what does that mean? It means that we can learn to read our emotions and use that as guidance in our life. So we can learn to understand when something doesn't feel right and when we need to rethink something. When something feels great and we're in the right direction. Then when something feels like total ease and we know that this is right. So if we can learn to read how we're feeling before we get lost in the feelings, we're a long way down the road of manifestation. Like we're already very close, okay? And so what does it even mean to manifest? It's what we're doing right here. Like you're never not manifesting. You sitting here breathing, you're manifesting those breaths. You sitting there thinking and maybe commenting on how I look here in this video, or thinking about me, or thinking about other things, or thinking about this or that, those are all manifestations. So manifestation is the most subtle thing that we can do because it's what we're doing. And so if you think about it, how quick does it take for you to go from anger to joy? How easy is that shift from joy into anger? So say you're having a great day, and then you go and you have a talk with your mom. And as soon as you see her start talking to her, you just get annoyed, and now you're annoyed for the whole day. Like how subtle is that shift? Really pay attention to that. Because the more we can pay attention to that, the more we can begin to live through feeling. And living through feeling can be the most beautiful experience of life, the most beautiful way to experience this life. Because again, it's like a guidance system. There's a book that my sister gave me on my birthday, which has been such a big impact on my life, had such a big impact on my life, called Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks as they channel through Abraham. And that book, I would suggest you read it because that book basically discusses living through feeling and your emotional guidance system. But in my experience, that's what I'm discussing in this. I'm not discussing what I read in the book, I'm discussing what I've experienced. Learning to live through feeling, like learning to understand what feels good and what doesn't, and then adjusting yourself accordingly to that, is how you build your beautiful life. It's how you build what you want to live. And I've spoken about it in many different videos, about how we can learn to know what feels good and what feels right, what feels good and what doesn't. Like we need to learn to trust ourselves and our feelings, because a lot of us, and maybe you watching this, don't trust yourself and don't trust what you feel because it's led you wrong so many times. But then you got to ask yourself, how clearly was I thinking at that time? And so that's where we speak about the third eye in that third eye chakra video, just learning to see life as it is before we invest our emotions into it. Okay, but anyways, I digress. Right now, we just want to learn how to live through feeling. And how can we do that? But that's what we'll discuss in the next 2 steps. But first of all, just understand the concept of I feel something based on a situation, whether it's good, bad, whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling, and then I adjust my course accordingly. If it feels good and if it brings me to ease, then I move forward. But if it feels like resistance, if it feels negative, if it feels wrong, then I turn course. And it's also about understanding that the life we want to build, at least what I'm sharing, is a life like this, a life of ease. It's about ease. It's about that skillful handling of life, that no matter what life throws at you, you handle it well. You handle it skillfully. You're not, everything's a big ball of emotions. No, it's about observing those emotions, letting them go, and then handling it clearly. And so by living through feeling, you develop that skill. You develop the skill of knowing what feels in alignment, knowing what brings you to ease, knowing what relaxes you and moves you forward gently. I've spoken about before, about the flow of this existence, about this entire creation is flowing upon a universal intelligence. And it's like we're all in the same river flowing. Some of us want to swim back up rivers. Some of us want to get out of the river and sit on the banks and walk ourselves. Some of us want to do that and do this. But what I'm sharing is how we can work with that flow and accept that flow and allow it to take us to where we need to go. without causing too much havoc in the water. And so, if we can learn to live through feeling, what we're doing is we're learning to understand what is that flow and what isn't. When am I in that flow and when am I not? Okay? And again, we'll discuss how you can do that in these next 2 steps, in the next 2 videos of this course. But essentially, manifestation means that you are living in that flow and you're learning to put your desires forward into it, trusting that it will come to you, and knowing when you're heading away from it and when you're heading to it. That's all manifestation is. It's actually incredibly simple. It's just about refining the skill set of knowing that emotional guidance, as they call it in the book, Emotional Guidance System. It's about knowing when am I at ease and when does that feel right versus when am I in resistance and running away and trying to swim upstream. And again, we're going to discuss that in these next 2 videos. Enjoy.